All right, today we're talking about something pretty cool, SoTaNA. It's a new open-source AI coding assistant that, honestly, could be a real game changer for developers. So let's just start with this big idea, right? Imagine for a second, what if you could have the perfect AI coding partner? And I don't mean one that's locked away in some big tech company's vault. I mean one for everyone.
To really get why that's so tough, you've got to look at the AI world right now. It's kind of split in two. On one side, you've got the proprietary giants. Think ChatGPT. Super powerful, for sure, but they're basically black boxes. They're closed off, they're expensive, you can't really peek under the hood. Then, on the other side, you've got open source AI. Awesome, right? It's accessible to everybody. But there's a catch. They're usually pretty general, not really specialized for something as complex as code.
And this gap, well, it leads us right to what this paper calls the coder's dilemma.
So what's the dilemma? Well, let's be real, modern software development is just tough. Technologies are moving at light speed. The whole process of designing and building stuff is incredibly complicated. And don't even get me started on debugging. If you've ever spent hours hunting down one tiny bug, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We could really use a smarter assistant here.
Okay, so how do you solve this? How do you build an expert AI without a giant budget? Well, this is where the folks behind SoTaNA got really creative. They came up with a very clever training plan.
And their whole mission, which they lay out right here, was pretty smart. They weren't trying to build a whole new model from the ground up. That's crazy expensive. Nope, their goal was to take a solid open source model, Llama, and just teach it. Teach it to actually get what developers are asking for and to give back answers that sound like they came from a real person.
The way they did this is actually a fantastic story. It's like the classic tale of the master and the apprentice. So on one side, you have the master. That's your big, powerful, closed AI like ChatGPT. It knows a ton. And on the other side, you've got the apprentice. That's Llama. It's powerful, it's promising, but it's still a bit raw. It's ready to learn from the best.
So how does the training actually happen? It's a super elegant three-step pipeline. Think of it like a training montage. First, you get the master, ChatGPT, to write a custom textbook. And I mean a massive textbook, 100,000 questions and answers, all about software engineering. Step 2, you pick your apprentice, Llama. And step 3, you make the apprentice study that textbook. This is the fine-tuning part, where Llama goes from being a jack of all trades to a master of one.
Now you might be thinking, wait, fine-tuning a model with billions of parameters, that sounds ridiculously expensive, and normally you'd be right. But they use this incredibly clever technique called parameter-efficient tuning, or LoRa. The magic of LoRa is that you don't have to retrain the whole model. You just freeze the original brain, and then you add these tiny little layers on top to teach it the new skill. It's like a surgical upgrade instead of a full brain transplant. Super fast, super cheap.
So just how efficient are we talking? Get this. The entire training, the whole thing, was done on just one GPU. A single A100. That's insane. This means that creating a specialized AI expert is no longer just for the tech giants. University labs, small startups, maybe even a dedicated person in their garage. They can do this now. It completely changes the game.
All right, the training plan sounds amazing. It's efficient, it's smart, but the big question remains, did it work? It's time to put our newly trained apprentice to the test. SoTaNA versus the world.
Seriously, this is the moment of truth. Was all that clever training worth it? Can this apprentice, SoTaNA, actually stand up to the competition?
Okay, so when you first look at the automatic scores, these are just computer programs that check how many words match up between the AI's answer and the right answer. Well, it's a bit confusing. The numbers are all kind of bunched together. It's hard to tell who's winning. It looks like a tie, maybe?
But here's the thing, and it's a huge point in the paper. Those numbers, they're not telling you the whole story. Not even close.
And here is the perfect example of why. So the question was super simple. How do you get a file extension in PHP? Both models here gave the right answer, a perfectly good, correct answer. But look at the scores. They're totally different. It just goes to show you these automatic metrics are shaky. They're just counting words, not judging quality. So if the robots can't judge this properly, what do we do? How do we really know who's best? Simple. You bring in the humans. You ask actual expert developers. And when the humans weighed in, well, it was a completely different story. They had 10 experienced developers rate the answers, and the results couldn't be clearer. Just look at this chart. SoTaNA is the clear winner. The training plan worked.
The apprentice didn't just learn, it excelled.
Okay, so the experiment was a huge success. But what does this all mean? Let's zoom out and talk about the future of coding.
So, why is this such a big deal? It really boils down to 4 things. 1, it's totally open. The model, the code, it's all out there. 2, it's accessible. Remember, trained on 1 GPU? Amazing. 3, that huge 100,000 question textbook they made, that's open too, so anyone can use it. And maybe most importantly, this whole thing is basically a blueprint. It shows anyone how to turn a general model into a hyper-focused expert.
So what this research really gives us is a recipe, a clear path forward for everyone. And that leaves us with one last really exciting question to think about. What does the world look like when every single developer has the power to build and customize their very own AI coding expert? What's next?